Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Hey, shh, calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the Radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the Radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Friday. What's going on, all you scallywags, nutmeggers, all across the fruited plain? You know what time it is. It's time for the world's most hated. The ACLU can't stand me. Black Lives Matter can't stand me. The NAACP calls me the most wanted man in America. It's none other than your friend and mine, Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080. Folks, I am going to ask you to do something for me today. And it is against my very own loving, caring, and adorable wife. I want you to call up the station today. Ladies in particular, because you know it's Friday, and it's ladies' night, and Roseanne is here. But I want you to call up, ladies, tonight. Tonight, I want you to tell her, don't go home. Well, what am I talking about? I'll explain it. So Roseanne has been counting the days while we've been here, every day, from Monday when we finally arrived to every day this week being up in Connecticut. And this woman has said one thing and one thing only to me. Reese, this feels like home. And then it turned into, do we have to go back to Texas? She's fallen in love with this place. Now, I just want to tell you this. All of you naysayers out there who complain, scream and holler, say every bad name you can about Connecticut. Ain't going nowhere, but you know who you are. Here, a woman has come to visit your town, and she's talked to people. She's conversed with you, has eaten with you, and she has fallen in love with you and this state. And she wants to come back. She doesn't want to leave. She wants me to go back to Texas, and she can stay here. Now, I don't know any of you weirdos that would pull her up. I know Matty O would. Weirdo. Matty O would definitely put her up in a second, but I can't let that man next to my wife. He thinks she's the most beautiful thing in the world, and Matty O, you know better. Watch your mouth. She is dying to stay. Now, I was going to go up there and say, who would let my wife stay up here with her? And I know people would immediately call him, no, she can stay with me. She can stay with me. Yeah, it sounds great at first. But, you know, I don't have a penny to my name thanks to that woman, so you don't want her in your life like that. Leave it to me, okay? Now, I love her to death. She'll be here, and she'll yell at me about embarrassing her. But she's fallen in love with Connecticut. I knew she would. It's the same feelings I have about this place. It has been a pleasure all week to be here. And even with all of the stuff that we've talked about, from the Aquathol K to the death of J. Allen Jones, met his mom today, with all of that, with the stories that I hear of corruption and mayhem and all the other stuff like that, it has only made me want to stay here even more. because I'm just not the kind of guy that runs away from a fight. And I keep feeling like I don't consider myself some superhero, like God has tapped me on the shoulder and said, boy, you need to get down there to Connecticut and straighten them out. No, I don't believe that. But I do believe I have a voice. I do believe that if I use that voice properly, we could bring attention to those things. And we can make changes. Me and you and others, everybody. And I don't want to be the complaint guy anymore. I don't want to be online, back and forth with people going, did you say the messed up thing that such and such did? Yeah, such and such did that. I don't want to be that guy. I want to be here. I want to actually see what I can do. I want to talk to people, and I want to affect change. I think I can. I won't be able to get them all, but if I try hard enough, I could get a few. And I know some of you believe in that. You've seen it. The attention that things are getting from this show. Others are getting involved and want to do more. I'm trying to do that. As I always say, here to serve. Now, let's get to what happened this morning. I went down to the Hartford Superior Court. There were public statements that were given on behalf of J. Allen Jones and the release of this videotape. It turns out that the video of J. Allen's death was filmed on a handheld camcorder. We did not know that, or at least I didn't know that. And the state is fighting to seal the video. It has not been sealed. They are fighting to seal it. Members of the ACLU, the Connecticut Examiner, are fighting as well to release the videotape. They are in court trying to get the judge to allow them to release the videotape. But listening to lawyers who were there, and I talked to a couple. I talked to some that are old school guys. We have this old saying, by the way. A good lawyer knows the law. A great lawyer knows the judge. I talked to a lot of great lawyers today. One in particular, I know who knows the judge. I'm almost certain he babysat their kids. He knows the judge, or the judge is. He has a practice. It says on his business card. In fact, let me see if I can grab it. I think I put it in my back pocket. No, here it is. No, that's not it. Darn it. I thought I had it. I thought I had it right on my person. But anyway, the quote on his card. Oh, here it is. The quote on his card, just to show you how arrogant this guy is. And I love a good arrogant judge. This is the tagline on his card. Trial practice in all courts. That means if you get a traffic ticket, this guy can cover you. You're up for murder? This guy can cover you. Did you rob a bank? This guy can cover you. He's got a lawyer for all courts, all of them. And this guy was in the room. This guy was there as legal counsel for the plaintiff, J. Allen Jones's mom, to release this tape. But even he doesn't believe that it's going to be released. Even he believes that this is a shot in the dark. Now, I don't expect you to care. I don't expect any of you to care. But I'm asking you to. I'm asking you to because what happened to J. Allen should have happened to no one. And if I could say to you anything to impress upon you the reason why I want you to care, and then what I want you to do, I'm going to tell a small story, quick story, that happened within 5 minutes at the courthouse. We are going to talk to J. Allen Jones's mom. Her name is Jessica Jones. Roseanne spoke to her, got her telephone number. She is willing to come on the show. But there was a woman I didn't expect to be there. I didn't know she was there. I didn't know whose family was who. I didn't know who anybody was. But this one woman got up and spoke during the public comments in the courtroom. This woman was wearing just a pair of yoga pants or whatever it was and a T-shirt. She looked like she was on her way back to work, but she got up and she spoke, and she said these words: "I am the mother of Jay Allen's son." And she gave her speech, and she made it quick. She made it simple, that she just wants to be able to tell her son how her father died, how his father died. That got to me. But she was quick. She was to the point. She sat back down. She did not grandstand. She didn't show up in there in pearls and looking all gussied up. She came in there literally in her regular clothes and spoke about Jay Allen's son. I want his son to know how his father died. They took a recess after everyone spoke. By the way, Eva Lees from Black Lives Matter 860 was there. We'll talk about that. When they took a recess after everyone got their public statements, I pulled this woman aside. And I said, "Can I talk to you for about 5 minutes?" And she said, "Absolutely." I said, "I didn't know that he had a child." And she goes, "Yes, he has a son." And I said, "It was very powerful what you said in just a brief moment." I said, "Do you think that there's a real chance for you to get that this video will come out?" And she goes, "I really, really don't know." And then she said, "Because my son suffers from schizophrenia too. He got it from his father." And I said, "Wow, that's heavy." And then she said the thing I was thinking. And she said, "If something like this were to ever happen to my son, would he suffer the same fate as his father?" And that was enough. I didn't need to speak to Jessica Jones. I didn't need to speak to anybody else. I spoke to a few people, but I didn't need anybody else. I figured it out. The most important person in this entire story is his son, is his legacy. His son, who suffers from the same thing. What happened to Jay Allen, even if his schizophrenia played a part in this, what happens should her son be in a situation walking down the street, is confront law enforcement, whatever the case may be, people, individuals. You don't know exactly how to handle that. Her young son. That's what she's afraid of. She wants people to recognize how the father of her child died, perished. What led to it? What caused them to do what they did? Were they frustrated by his schizophrenia? Was he nervous, scared? Was he screaming for help? Was he erratic? Whatever the case was, people need to see that. And it's not just for the family. It isn't. It's for everybody to see. You may end up in that position. If you end up in a situation where you're in a holding cell, whatever it is, a fight on the road, you're in a situation where you get locked up because you're at a bar, you get into a bar fight, and you're in there, and somebody gets hurt, and you end up spending time in there. You know, I think it sounds crazy, but I always think about Nicolas Cage in the opening scene of Con Air, defending his girlfriend before she becomes his wife, and he has the involuntary manslaughter charge of just defending his wife. He ends up using his hands. He's a lethal weapon, as it were. And he ends up in the slammer. But he's a good guy, but he's just defending his family. But he's still got to do the time. Imagine that guy is in jail. And someone is sitting there with an axe to grind, a grudge. And all the guy is trying to do is serve his time and go home, and something goes wrong. The public has a right to know. The public has a right to know what's going on inside. And I'm sorry, the fact that the Attorney General's office is fighting for this to be released to the public screams of something underhanded. They know it. They know that something about this is wrong. And the part that I find incredibly interesting in all of this are the excuses. And it's almost like they're giving up the goods and no one is catching on. William Tong's his only comments have been about public safety in an issue that happened inside the correctional facility. That is not a public place. That is not a public safety issue. He is talking about you and me. He's talking about us, the public. He is talking about what we might see and might be outraged by. And he believes that the pitchforks and the tiki torches will come for the government. That they will be so outraged that they will demand answers. And somebody's reelection campaign or campaign for higher office is over. If it is revealed that William Tong or Ned Lamont were able to hide the murder, that's not my words, that is the coroner's description, homicide. If they get to cover up the homicide of this 31-year-old black male, they will have precedent to do it anytime someone in a correctional facility kills a person. They will have precedent, and it will give license to this behavior to other people they deem worthy of this behavior. Many people might look at this and say, well, they ended up in jail. And I'd take Devon's word and I'll put a little spin on them. Being sentenced to 10 years is not a death sentence, and nor should it ever be. A 20-year sentence should never be a death sentence. The objective is to go into the prison system and to serve your debt to society and go home. If it's difficult for you to get a job thereafter, they're fine. If it's difficult for you to do this and to reacclimate, there are those issues. But again, it is never a death sentence. And we have to know, just like we had to know with Freddie Gray, just like we had to know with Michael Brown, just like we had to know with Eric Garner, we had to see the videotape. Why? Because it's not that it's a public interest issue. It is a public safety issue. It tells people that when your kids or when your family members go to jail, they're going to have to be concerned about where they go and who's going to be inside there, whether or not they should be fearful, whether or not they're going to come home safely. The public safety issue is with anyone who ends up incarcerated. The story has to go national because that's the only way William Tong will relent. These guys live and breathe in the public eye through the news media, but on their terms. Only on their terms. This cannot be on their terms. We have to hold them accountable, and that is tell us what happened. Be transparent. You want to get reelected? You want to make the change? Do whatever you want to do. In order to do those things, you have to be transparent. And I'll say this last before we go to a break. We'll take your phone calls, 860-522-WTIC. I'll say this before we leave. These guys have always preached equity. These guys have always preached how the world is prejudiced and how the little guy can't get ahead. Chris Murphy every day, we have to give power back to the people. We have to give power back to the people who don't have it. Well, J. Allen Jones had no power. Not in this case. He had absolutely none. He had so little power that he's being told by William Tong and everybody else that if they get their way, no one will ever have power. They say no kings. They keep telling us no kings. But if you sit around and you let this boy's life go without somebody being held accountable, all that other nonsense that you're doing in a protest means nothing to me. And it should be ignored, and rightly so. You should be made to look like fools. Let's take a break. We'll be back. More news, more views. We'll talk a little bit more about this and some other people that I spoke to. I spoke to the Hartford NAACP president. We'll talk about that, too, when we return. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC NewsTalk 1080.
Hi, this is Joel Johnson with Johnson Brunetti. Do not make mistakes when it comes to Social Security decisions. Get our free guide, Social Security Decisions, call or text the word security to request your copy. 1-800-705-1232. Call or text the word security to 1-800-705-1232 to get your free guide. 1-800-705-1232.
Investment advisory services offered through JB Capital, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance products offered through JN Financial, LLC.
We know life gets busy, but seeing a primary care provider regularly is essential to your health. Trinity Health of New England's primary care providers offer comprehensive preventative care, from regular checkups and screenings to addressing health concerns, all to help you stay healthy and get more out of life. Making an appointment is easy. Call 1-833-SEE-YOU-NOW. That's 1-833, the letter C, U, Y-O-U, now. Or visit trinityhealthofne.org/PCP.
Here's what's happening at Foxwoods. This afternoon, you have a chance to win your share of $75,000 from 2 to 10 p.m. while playing slots or table games with your rewards card. Must be a Foxwoods Rewards member. Sign up for free at foxwoods.com. Tonight, rock out with Aerosmith's legendary guitarist Joe Perry at the Premier Theater. Backed by an all-star band, Joe Perry delivers pure rock energy and classic hits in an electrifying live performance. Tomorrow, internet sensation and comedian Trey Kennedy hits the Great Cedar Showroom. Known for his hilarious takes on millennial life and pop culture, Trey brings his live show to Foxwoods for a night of relatable laughs. Fluffy is back. Gabriel Iglesias takes the stage at Foxwoods on August 23rd. With his family-friendly humor, incredible sound effects, and heartwarming stories, he brings a laugh-out-loud performance suitable for all. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit foxwoods.com. That's foxwoods.com.
And now, a WTIC news update.
2:30 Hartford, temperature 80 degrees. Good afternoon, I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. Lots of sun this afternoon, low humidity. We'll have temperatures in the low 80s. A woman who police say brought a shooting victim to the hospital in New Haven is facing charges. Officers say Manisha Galishaw was found to be carrying a pistol, reported stolen, along with ammunition. The 37-year-old victim she brought to the hospital also had several warrants out on him, according to police. Former teacher in Shelton is charged with sexual assault and risk of injury. Police say their investigation into Jason Keimer, a former Shelton High teacher, began in June. Suspect accused of carrying on a relationship with a 17-year-old student on campus. President Trump says Chicago and New York could receive similar treatment from the federal government as Washington, D.C., where nearly 2,000 National Guard troops have been deployed to quell the president's administration is characterized as an influx of dangerous crime. Meantime, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says the Guard on patrol in D.C. will now be armed. It is a reversal of a previous edict that said the troops called in to fight crime would not be carrying weapons. WTIC News Time 2:31. Bob Cox with the forecast.
High pressure building into the region, providing us with great weather this afternoon into the weekend. Plenty of sunshine out there for the rest of today. Highs be in the low 80s. Tonight's mainly clear. Lows in the upper 50s and low 60s. Mostly sunny Saturday. A few clouds mixed in. Highs in the low to mid 80s. Still comfortably low humidity tomorrow, with dew points in the 50s to around 60 or so. Partly cloudy Saturday night. Lows in the low to mid 60s. We'll have a mixture of sun and clouds Sunday with highs reaching the low 80s. A little more humidity. Dew points get into the 60s, and then it's unsettled on Monday. There's some showers around, chance for thunder. Warm and humid, high near 80. Back to fall-like weather after that. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
All right, plenty of sunshine out there. 81 is the temperature in Hartford. The markets have been way up this afternoon. The Dow is now currently ahead, 839 points. The NASDAQ up 416. And the S&P is up 98 points. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune into the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Looking for Michelin tires at the guaranteed lowest price? Get to Town Fair Tire. Michelin's innovative technologies are designed for durability and performance over any of the toughest road conditions, so you can trust you're getting the highest quality tires. And Town Fair's been a name you can trust since 1967. Now with over 120 locations and still growing. Because nobody beats a Town Fair tire deal. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Attention Southern New England HVAC and mechanical contractors. Eagle Rivet is your trusted roofing partner for professional roof penetrations and flashing. We ensure your customers' roofs remain watertight during installations, protecting their warranties. We also offer complimentary roof inspections to identify potential issues before any HVAC work begins. Call Eagle Rivet today at 860-953-1231 or visit us online at eaglerivet.com. That's EAGLERIVET.com. Eagle Rivet is proud to support rebuilding together Hartford.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Low testosterone affects many men today, even men as young as 30. But finding someone you can trust for quality low T treatment isn't so easy. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, a Promedic restorative health practice, and that's why I'm pleased to announce the opening of our newest location of Northeast Men's Health right here in Warwick. As a Promedic affiliate, Northeast Men's Health has the experience and expertise to get you the right treatment for your particular medical situation. At Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating low testosterone. In fact, we've successfully treated thousands of men for low T and have seen the amazing impacts low T treatments have. If you're like most men, you'll sleep better, have more energy and improve mental clarity, get better gains in the gym, and your sex drive will likely improve as well. So call us. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you.
What's the difference between Allaire Elder Law and most elder planning services? Allaire Elder Law is a law firm, which means we can advise you on asset protection and next step planning to avoid probate and protect the other spouse for their future needs. For example, after working to protect assets from the Medicaid spouse, the healthy spouse needs a special will to keep protecting things in future. With other services, if you're just getting the Medicaid application and not necessary legal documents or strategies, you're getting much less, and often for the same price. Medicaid processing companies can be slow. They may sound like a good deal, but a lot of times they put the work on the family's shoulders, which could mean it takes more time, which costs money when paying for care. Our job is education as much as execution. Finally, please ask the question, are you being referred to a Medicaid planning service for the right reasons, or might they be steering you? I'm Haley Allaire. For comprehensive senior planning for your family, the right choice is Allaire Elder Law. Compassionate counsel and proven results. AllaireElderLaw.com.
The airing of grievances. Grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
That's right. It's an airing of grievances Friday. We're probably going to end that really, really soon.
It was fun while it lasted, but, after a while, I've heard all the grievances. It's Reese on the Radio, WTIC, News Talk 1080. If you're watching online, a good friend of mine is here from back in my earlier days in 2004, and I think having been here, I never had him on the air in Connecticut, but I did have him on the air in Boston when I worked up there. So Chris Beloff is here. We're going to talk to him in a little bit. He mentioned something about during the time we used to hang out in Buckland Hills that I completely forgot, and I can't wait for you to hear the story. When he said it, I was like, really? That was me? Yeah, which it's on brand. My wife even said it. My wife said, yeah, that's on brand. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I'll get to your phone calls as well. I want to get this out because I went to this Superior Court thing in Hartford today. And a lot of people spoke. Devon, who was our guest yesterday, Devon Ward was there, and the president of the Hartford chapter of the NAACP. And I was sitting behind Devon, and I was kind of chatting him up, and, we were, shooting the breeze, as it were. And I was talking about, like, hey, who's that guy? Who's that guy? Oh, does that guy work for William Tong? Okay, that guy. I just wanted to know who the heavy hitters were. And all of a sudden, he's sitting next to this other guy in a suit. And he looks familiar to me, but I wasn't certain. And sure enough, it's the president of the Hartford NAACP. You know him. I put his info here. Corey Betts. I almost forgot his name. Corey Betts was there, and I had to give him some crap. I said, he looks at Devon. He goes, yo, who's this guy? I was like, oh, you don't know who I am? He's like, no, who are you? I was like, I am on the Black Conservative Talk Show host that you've been hearing about over at WTIC. He's like, oh, I was like, yeah. I said, I noticed that I'm the only black guy on a radio station that's 50,000 watts that nobody in NAACP wants to talk to. You don't want to turn my phone calls. He's like, oh, come on, man. Why you want to do me like that? I was like, I got to do you like that. He goes, no, whatever, man. We'll come on, I promise. Now they want to come on. That's okay. We'll get them on. We'll get them on here. I'm telling you, you thought I was going to, I said to him I wasn't going to change anything. I'll change something. And then we talked to some people over at the ACLU. And we learned some things about the ACLU while we were sitting in that courtroom. Yeah, I'll tell you. It turns out that, as I said before, and I'll say again, a lot of people are afraid of this program. And I said, hey, why is it the ACLU knocking down my door on this story? It was like, oh, we'd love to talk to you. I was like, sure, you want to come on down to the studio? Well, because an in-person interview means that I'm going to have to get to the nitty-gritty. I don't know what their plans are, but we're going to see if we can get them down here. Don't be afraid of this show. I know a lot of them are listening today. I understand a lot of them are very interested in the show now. You should be. You should be. Somebody said to me, oh, you know what? I can say his name. What the hell? Corey Betts, the head of the NAACP. You know what he said to me? I asked him, hey, why aren't there a lot of people here rallying for J. Allen Jones? And he says, well, people in the black community know. I said, really? Who? He goes, people in black radio. I said, really? They in black radio, they know? He goes, yeah. I said, that's funny. My sister station is one of the number one, if not number two stations in all of Connecticut. I was just talking to the morning show host and the program director, and they don't know a thing about this story. I talked to the afternoon host, Jenny Boom Boom, who I've known for 20 years. Hey, you heard about J. Allen Jones? Their response was, whom? So nobody is doing a thing to get him out there. And let me say this. I'll say it again. I want to make it clear, especially to my two black listeners. I say that with tongue in cheek. I'm going to say this to you, and I'll say it again. Never doubt me. These so-called civil rightsers don't give a damn about you. They are doing nothing effective. They don't care about you. They haven't moved one needle for you. This guy has. I've got a track record. I told you I had a track record. And you get mad at me when I do the whole Negro nonsense stuff because I point out the stupidity that is going on where people are paying attention to podiatry problems when they have cancer. And I bring attention to that stuff. And then when stuff like this goes on, I find out that none of you are involved. This guy's been dead for 7 years. And there's a videotape on it, and none of you have demanded action. I haven't seen a march. I haven't seen anybody standing outside of William Tong's office. I haven't seen anybody demanding answers from anyone. Not one damn soul. I hear about the story 2 days ago, and I've done more on it than anybody has in the state. What is going on? Me, the guy, the sellout, the Uncle Tom, the conservative black guy? I'm the one that's bringing attention to a guy, according to the coroner, who was murdered inside a correctional facility. I'm the guy getting the attention to the rest of the state? Me? The sellout Negro? What's wrong with you people? You let me show you up? I talked to Don today. You know, probably the biggest black nationalist in the state. Hey, you coming down to the courthouse today? No. Seriously, you guys got nothing to beef about. All of you, with all due respect, shut up. You have earned no right to talk to me or talk to anybody else about who cares about what. Again, Reese on the Radio has shown you up, and I wasn't even trying. Literally, all I did was drive down to the courthouse, and I've done more for that man than you ever will, other than just realize it happened because I told you about it, and I ain't even from here. I've been out of the state over 14, 15 years, and I come back here and I know more about it. I've been involved more in things than you guys should be involved in, and then you're going to sit up here and call me out? Save it. Save it. You're not even rookies. You're not even in the game. You're not even spectators. You guys are all wearing civil rights clothing, hanging out at the Klan bar. You're doing nothing for your people but complaining. And I knew that from the get-go. All of you are nothing more than a bunch of yammerers. Yammering, yammering, yammering. And when the rubber meets a road, you guys got no interest, no car fare. You won't even take an Uber. Please spare me. Bounce from now on. Don't ever come to this show. Don't ever come to my website. Don't ever come to my Facebook. Don't come to my Twitter. Don't come anywhere. Don't ever come to me unless you are willing to concede that you need to do better. Don't complain. In fact, I'll do one step further. You talk crap on my platforms, you're gone. I don't need you because it turns out you're meaningless in this conversation. Meaningless. You are nothing more than platitudes, and you're barely that. You don't care about black people. You don't care about any of this stuff. What you care about is victimhood, and that's growing old. Without action, you're jokes. So please, let's move on. Now I want to get to the phones. Mark is in West Hartford. He was there with me today. How you doing, sir? Oh, sorry. You know what? My bad. I do that every time. Somebody turns this darn thing down, and I keep forgetting to turn it back up. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. I said, you would have thought today would have been standing room only.
Exactly. Roseanne and I were thinking the same thing. Like, why did we find seats in this thing?
Yeah, and you bring up, you know, I get it. You had the head of the Hartford chapter, the NAACP.
Yeah.
And again, I always bring his name up. You do too, Scott X. Esdale. How about the other heads of the other chapters? Doesn't have to be from Hartford. They should have had a showing. But here's what I want people to do, and this was easy for me to just check out. Just plug in WFSB, WTNH, Fox 61, NBC Connecticut, and attach the words alligator Alcatraz and see how many reports they did on a detention center and how all the Democrats, they needed to see with their own eyes.
Mm-hmm.
They needed to go inside there. Oh, why don't you attach Murphy to alligator Alcatraz, and you'll see him do one of his
press conferences,
rants.
Yep.
Yeah, they want it down in Florida. They want transparency. We need to see what's going on in there. We need to know what's going on in here. And yet, again, look up the media. Try to see how many people covered J. Allen Jones back then and especially now.
Yeah.
They weren't even outside. They usually camp out for this stuff. They should have camped out for the family walking in, trying to get some comments.
Yep.
And when I walked out, now I don't know. Maybe they showed up later. I don't know. But why was it just the social media reporters there?
Yeah, it was a lot of that online. Like I said, I looked back on the story when they covered it in 2024. There was a couple of stories about it. I looked at some of the stories that were from 2018, 2019, and all of these things were like a bunch of .com outlets, maybe with a little smattering of some, sort of legacy news media here and there, but they didn't seem to care. I'll tell you what I didn't like there, Mark. What are you, moving furniture? No, I'm sorry.
I almost got hurt. I'm doing that bathroom over. Go ahead.
Okay.
What things you like to see?
No, the thing that I would have liked to have seen, even from these gumshoe reporters, that one woman, Barbara, who is trying to eradicate solitary cells, right? Barbara was there. She walked up to Jessica Jones, Jay Allen's mother, to give her a hug, and everyone just stood around watching them hug. Not one reporter walked up to her to get a statement. And I'm like, why wouldn't you? You know she's about to go up there and give a public comment. Get a statement from her. Get her on the record so that you can then push that out on your outlet about, what this woman's plight is. But no one asked any questions. It was like they were afraid to. And I'm like,
exactly.
I'm walking up to the woman. I'm shaking her hand. I was like, look, I just want to let you know who I am and what I'm doing. I said that to the mother of his child, who's got a schizophrenic son, for crying out loud. No one knew that. How is this not a news story?
And you know what? I'm glad you listen, I really think two things. You mentioned the son, which ties into now what are we doing for mental health? They talk a good game until these things stand out, and then they don't mention it. You think A.G. Tong is going to bring up, hey, we need to be more aware. We need to make some modification. The whole thing is about mitigation. I always bring that word up.
Yeah.
As a firefighter, after a tragedy, the one thing we do is we try to immediately talk about it, and we try to find everything so it doesn't happen again. In this case, it's going to happen again.
Yep.
If you're not willing to be transparent and talk about it, you can't have mitigation cannot take place. In this guy here, I really don't know how the local media isn't knocking down A.G. Tong's door right now.
Indeed.
For camping outside.
Exactly.
It's embarrassing. Nice to see you down there. All right.
Thank you, man.
Great job. Thank you.
You got it, boss man. I appreciate you. We got to take a break. We'll be back. I'll take some more phone calls. We got Roseanne here. Chris and I are going to talk about some old times. We got all of that. You know how Friday goes. A little lightheaded. But I got to get to this thing because it was an important hearing today. And we'll take your phone calls and answer some of your questions if you have any. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
If you've been having your McDonald's sausage McMuffin with an